Welcome. Thanks for watching Realistically Random. So, unless you've been living under a complete rock for the last 2 years, I'm sure you heard about the Young Thug YSL Rico trial. It went on for 2 years, and it was the longest trial in Georgia history. Okay. It started with 28 defendants. Some of them had their cases severed, and then there was a trial with seven co-defendants, including Young Thug. Uh, during that trial, it was just so much drama, so many requests for a mistrial, and um, ultimately, it went down. It went down. It went down, and the judge was switched out. They got a new judge halfway through, nearly. Well, no, not halfway through, because it was probably like what, 4 months, 3 or 4 months. Um, and plea deals were given. Young Thug, took a plea deal, and the last two remaining co-defendants who didn't take a plea was Yak Gotti, aka Deamonte Kendrick, or Deamonte Kendrick, we'll say, aka Yak Gotti, and Shannon Jackson Stillwell. And they were ultimately found not guilty. Shannon was found guilty of possessing a firearm by being a convicted felon. That's a very brief snippet of everything that went on. But anyways, um, there was a hearing maybe 2 weeks after them being found not guilty. They both had hearings, and Shannon took a plea because he had charges while he was in jail. He got some charges while he was in jail. So did Diamante Kendrick. Um, I'm trying to remember if that's what Shannon. Yeah, they both had pending charges while they were in jail. Diamante Kendrick was looking for a bond for his um, pending charges that he got while he was in jail. And ultimately, the judge denied the bond because in the middle of the hearing, he was slipped a note that said Diamante had a warrant out. Yeah. So nobody knew, not his attorney, not Diamante, nobody knew about this warrant. And then furthermore, the warrant wasn't even signed until the next day. So it's just a lot of things going on. They really thought that he was going to be able to be home for Christmas and New Year's because he was the only one that was found completely not guilty. Again, Shannon was found guilty of possessing a firearm, and he's home. And he was sentenced to probation. So it's a lot of speculation that Fulton County is very slick and sly, very slick and sly, and they ultimately want Diamante to end up on probation that's going to ban him from the state of Georgia, which is what happened with Young Thug, which is what happened to Shannon Stillwell Jackson, and I don't remember if it happened to the other ones that took pleas, but I know it happened to them too. So there's speculation that Fulton County ultimately wants to do that with Diamante, and they was holding on to this warrant because he was on state probation and federal probation. So he thought that once he was on federal probation, that trumped state probation. Now, nothing happened this whole time with the federal probation until he was found not guilty. It's like they was holding this in their back pocket, allegedly. So, anyways, he has a court hearing. First, it was set for January. Then the next day or 48 hours later, it was set for February 7th. So, yeah. Let's get into a few things. I've been covering this case on TikTok since August, and then I have two pages, so I was covering it on my second page. My second page ended up getting banned, so I had to start over. So on my page, I'm gonna add a video. But on my second page, it started September 5th. So it's actually started, I started my second page the day Rich Homie Quan passed away. So I've been covering the case for what, 6 months? Yeah. So let's get into this because it's very interesting that this is happening. And like I said, there's a lot of speculation going around. And I want to take a look at the judge. The judge that is presiding over his hearing in February. But this is the place to go for everything, everything thug related, thug daily. This he was the goat during the trial, absolutely the goat during the trial. So, uh, I'm going the wrong way. So here it is. Yak Gotti's probation revocation hearing isn't until February 7th. So unless something changes, the only person found not guilty on all charges in the YSL case will be in jail until at least then. And here is the judge, Melanie Lethbridge. And she had recused herself before because she was dating the sheriff or something happened. I forgot, but it's a older black woman. Here she is. A lot of stuff, a lot of accolades, a lot of what's the word? I can't think the word right now. I can't think of the word. She's done a lot of things. She's done a lot of things in her career. Um, let's get into this because I thought this was very interesting. Why Deamonte Kendrick is in jail after being found not guilty in the YSL trial? Deamonte Kendrick remains in jail due to an outstanding warrant despite being acquitted in the YSL trial earlier this month. Kendrick, also known as rapper Yak Gotti, was denied bond on Wednesday for charges he received while in jail. In the ruling, the judge cited Kendrick's outstanding warrant for probation violation. Why it matters: Kendrick was indicted in 2022 alongside rapper Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, and 26 others. Kendrick was charged with multiple counts related to the racketeering conspiracy and participation in criminal street gang activity, along with and drug and gun violations. He was acquitted on all charges on December 3rd. There he is. What to know? Kendrick pleaded guilty to gang, gun, and drug charges in 2017. He was sentenced to 15 years commuted time served, 8 years on probation, and 5 years suspended. Kendrick was held in jail throughout the duration of the YSL trial. He was accused of having contraband in March and aggravated assault and battery of a fellow inmate in June. Apparently, or allegedly, they had stole his commissary, I was hearing, and he had to get him back, basically. Prosecutors argued these charges violated his 2017 probation. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Melanie Lefford signed a warrant for the alleged violation on Wednesday, one day after Kendrick's bond hearing. Superior Court Judge Robert McBurney then said in his ruling that he could not grant Kendrick's bond until the outstanding warrant was resolved. Kendrick's attorney, Kayla Bumpus, which is Shannon's wife, filed for emergency bond on December 9th. Bumpus cited Kendrick's being stabbed while in Fulton County Jail earlier that month as one of the reasons McBurney should grant the motion. The district attorney's office opposed the motion and argued Kendrick is dangerous, as evidenced by his alleged involvement in the jail fight. The DA's office is good and terrible. What are you talking about? He's a danger. He was protecting himself. What people are saying, Bumpus said at a bond hearing on Tuesday, it's very sad to say, but normally when I pick up a client where I can't get a bond immediately, that's a double client because they're going to get a jail case. It's almost inevitable. What happens next? Kendrick will appear in front of a Superior Court Judge Paige Reese Whitaker on January 8th. See, that was the original date. Whitaker was the judge for the YSL trial. I don't know what happened. It's no longer January 8th. It's February 7th. On January 8th to be arraigned on the aggravated assault charges. Whitaker presided over the YSL trial. Christian Eppinger, Demekion Garlington, Demise McMullen, and Tanquarius Mentor are still facing charges in the YSL case and are expected to go on trial February 2025. Yeah, they had their hearing already, and they did not take the pleas that were given to them, and that's when their trial is going to start. So that's going to be interesting. Definitely going to cover that. Yeah, so this is not true anymore. Kendrick will appear in front of Superior Court Judge Paige Reese Whitaker on January 8th to be arraigned on the aggravated assault charges. Whitaker decided that's not true anymore. Something happened, and he's not going until February 7th. Trying to see if we can find out what happened, but yeah, it's just interesting. Fulton County has been doing some lowdown things noticeably. Everybody has been noticing it throughout this whole trial. If it wasn't televised, no telling what they would have been getting more away. So, yeah. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. We're going to continue to cover this trial because it needs to be televised. It needs to be documented. What is happening in these jails? Shannon Stillwell is suing Fulton County. He was stabbed 3 times. Deamonte Kendrick was actually stabbed the Sunday. Yeah, he was stabbed that Sunday and he was found not guilty that Tuesday or Wednesday. He had stitches in his head. When you put his head down, you can see the stitch in his head. It's just like, oh. So we're going to continue to cover this case, and as more unfolds, we're going to continue that as well. See what changes. There was a protest yesterday. I'm going to add that clip here as well. Deamonte Kendrick, his mom was out there, and supporters like Seti Nash was out there. Miss Sylvia was out there. So it's just like everybody has to do their part, because this could be anybody's brother, anybody's father, anybody's uncle, anybody's nephew, anybody's boyfriend, anybody's husband. The Rico it's a very low bar to prove Rico. So, and that was one of the charges. So we shall see.
Free, Young Gotti! Young Gotti!
Just days before Christmas, Tasha Kendrick stood in front of the Fulton County Courthouse chanting and holding a sign.
He got support. I love him. I wish he could have been home for Christmas. Unfortunately, he won't be here.
Her son, Deamonte Kendrick, was found not guilty in the YSL trial earlier this month.
Deamonte was the only one that was found not guilty on all charges. I want to repeat that. Deamonte was the only one was found not guilty on all charges. On all charges, Deamonte was found not guilty. And I definitely feel like it's a retaliation against my son.
But he remains incarcerated after an old probation warrant recently surfaced. The state says new charges he picked up in jail, including aggravated assault and contraband, are violations of that probation. Last week, a judge denied his bond. For Kendrick's mom, the decision was disappointing, especially after her son's attorney filed a motion for an emergency bond shortly after he was acquitted. The attorney cited safety concerns in the Fulton County Jail after Kendrick was stabbed earlier this month and pointed to a DOJ report on the jail's conditions. Kendrick's mom says her son wouldn't have these charges if he hadn't been kept in the Fulton County Jail. Today, she vowed to keep fighting for his release.
He's in good spirits. He would have loved to be home for Christmas, but unfortunately, realistically, we know that wasn't going to happen.
Kendrick was with friends and family who also braved the cold to join in their support of Deamonte.
It's a process. You got to keep our head up, stay strong, you know what I'm saying, and keep him in a great spirit.